When was the last time you thought about your very first time? The very first time you had sexual intercourse? Beautiful people, it is your girl Miss Charlotte, and you know, on Saturdays, Sexy Saturday, we talk about our issues on the topics of love, sex, and relationships. If this is your first time visiting my platform, thank you and welcome. We deal with our issues so that we can heal and win. That's what we do here. And I was thinking about my very first time and wanted to just talk about it with you, because hindsight is a bitch, but hindsight can also be a blessing when somebody takes the time to share their mistakes with you in hopes that it helps your foresight. So it's been eons, okay, since I lost my virginity. But what I will say is the lesson that I've learned from that is communication. I was very lucky to have my first time with a boy that I had the biggest crush on. I mean, my crush was so big, I had a photo album dedicated to him. He was like a local celebrity, ghetto celebrity, and everybody knew this kid. He was just hot. And even when I had boyfriends, I would show them this photo album of him because that's how hot he was. And he was so cool. Even the dudes I was dating was like, oh yeah, he the man. And I think for them, just like me, they probably never thought that I would get with the guy. But the power of manifestation, honey. I had a whole photo album dedicated to him, and I visualized myself with him a lot. But the thing about fantasies, especially when you're young, you visualize kissing them and the passion, and you know, it's just all fairy tale. You never actually think about what would happen if you was to get that person. And or I don't remember, tell me if you remember, when I fantasized about him, I don't remember fantasizing about intercourse, like the actual act. I think I just dreamt more about him kissing me and, you know, being romantic and paying me some attention. That was really what I fantasized about. But I just remember when he finally paid me some attention, and like I said, the power of manifestation, because I still don't understand how he even knew who I was. But anyway, he paid me some attention and we started dating, and he was actually really a sweet person, not like what I thought he was going to be like, because he was so popular and he was kind of like a, you know, pseudo celebrity. And he was really nice. We did a lot of talking, and then I went over his house one day, and he was lucky. He had the kind of household where he had the attic as his bedroom. Do you guys remember the attic? That was like, if you had an attic bedroom, you basically had an apartment. That was like your studio apartment, because you could get away and do pretty much anything if you had an attic bedroom. So he was in his room, and his mom and all of them knew me, so they was just like, he's upstairs. So I go up to his room and it was just like, it's gonna happen today. Like, there was no conversation. It was just, you know, the way he was kissing me and the way he was touching me, it was like, it's on. And I remember being like, ah, ah. In my head, I was so scared. I was so nervous. But this was the guy that I always fantasized about, and here I am, and it's like, be careful what you wish for, because now it's time to put up or shut up. And that's how I felt. I was so damn nervous and so damn scared, but there was no way I could say no, or there was no way I could back out of this, because we've been dating, he's been nice, he's been kind, I've always wanted this guy, but I never thought about wanting him in the sense of actually doing the do. Because I had boyfriends, but they all got to first and second, you know, base, but no third, and definitely no home runs. I was still a virgin, and so I just couldn't believe this was going to happen. And looking back now that I'm older and have some experience, what I didn't realize is that he too, I don't think he was a virgin, but I don't think he was as experienced as I assumed him to be. And what I would change is the communication. So there was no communication. It was just him kind of taking over. And I remember when he left the room, his room was pitch black. It was so dark. And when he left the room, he came back and he was, naked. And I was like, oh, Lord, there was no communication. It was just, bam, we gonna do this. And I was just like, oh God, I gotta do this. So it took me forever. I think it probably took me a week to take my clothes off. I took my long ass hot time taking off my clothes. I was so damn scared, and I don't even think that rung any bells for him, actually, that I took my time. I know he had to hear my heart because I know it was pumping outside my chest. So now we're in the bed and we're under the covers, and I just follow his lead. And it was very painful because, one, I didn't know what to expect. And I was learning everything at that moment. And all I know was I was just afraid, but I didn't want to embarrass him, and I didn't want to be embarrassed, so I stayed silent. I was just quiet and just allowed it to happen, and I just took it as much as I possibly could, because it was painful. I didn't get any pleasure out of it because I was too in my head. I was thinking too much. I was afraid to speak up, and I just kind of just let him take over. And he was very quiet as well. He didn't say anything. So to this day, I really don't know if he was a virgin as well. I don't think he was, but maybe it was only his second or third time. I will say he was very gentle with me. He was very nice. And after it was over with, there was really no conversation either. It was like we just went back to talking and just doing our regular activities like how we would normally. But I do know this, that when I got back on the bus home, oh Lord, every bump was killing me. Okay, I was in pain. And I remember when I got home, I didn't talk to my mom about it. I just dealt with it all on my own. And that is the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about it today. If you have kids, please talk to them about sex. Do not let them have to experience their first time like this, because it could be so much better when they are more confident, when they are not afraid to speak up and to communicate. Because your first time could be amazing if you just communicate. And that's the only thing I would take back. And I will say this too. I do believe that my first time, my experience kind of shaped my sexual experiences moving forward. Because what happened was the fear and the pain was so much for me that I broke it off with him. I was like, oh, this is not going to work out, simply because I was afraid to do it again. I didn't want that to happen to me for a long time. So it was a long time before I actually had sex again. And he was hurt. He didn't understand what he did wrong. And, he kept calling me, and, it wasn't right. But I was too embarrassed and ashamed to tell him that I was a virgin and that was my first time and that it was painful and I never want to do it again. I didn't want to tell him that because he was the man. So, that was my first time. So moving forward, I think now that is why I'm older, and when I think back to that first time, communication is a big thing for me. First, to just communicate with myself and to see what I like sexually, and then to make sure I communicate that with my lover. Let him know exactly what I like, what I don't like, and it is what it is, because sex should be enjoyed. It shouldn't be a painful act, and it shouldn't be embarrassing. And I know that years after that experience, my sexual experiences suffered because of that same communication. It took me a while to get over that fear. It took me a while to speak up and have a voice sexually, to say what I really want. And I know a lot of you probably are still doing that. So I say, let's take our sexuality in control. Let's be in control of it. Let's know what we want and say what we want and speak up, and not just, let them lead. So that's what I wanted to say. And again, I really, really highly suggest that if you have kids, please talk to them about this. Please talk to them about this. It is not cool to allow a stranger to teach your child about sex. It's just not fair. So do the best you can. Think about your first time and just say to yourself, do you want your child to go through that same experience? So that's it for me today. I hope this helps someone to feel more comfortable in their sexuality and to be comfortable in asking and saying exactly what you want. So if you understand what I'm talking about, give me the thumbs up. If you don't, give me the thumbs down. It is all good. We are grown and sexy. You can totally agree to disagree with me. Just keep it cute. Any hate, it will get deleted. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe and help me to get my numbers up. And to all my subs, I love and appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for your support. If you're watching this on my Facebook page, please like my page and share. And if you're on my IGTV, please like, follow, and share. And it's really important. I really don't ask you guys much, but I would really appreciate it if you would share some of these videos that really deal with issues that are heavy. And don't be so worried about coming off judgmental. Just, it's just love. It's just tough love. These are issues that we don't like to talk about, but we know we need to, because it's the only way that we're going to grow, and it's the only way we're going to win. And who doesn't want to win? So thank you. And until next week, I'll see you later.